I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. And we have a whole bunch of callers on hold, and we will get to them in just a minute. For those of you that are in Texas, God bless you. Stay warm. My goodness, you guys are just getting smacked down there. I hate it for you, and I hope that it thaws soon. I think it's supposed to in the next day or so. So hang in there. We're all sending you lots of love and good juju from elsewhere in the country. It's been a little wild around here. As some of you may remember, my husband Tim got a new knee last week, and he's doing great. He is walking with a walker, and I'm doing a full schedule and keeping him in good shape. He needs a little help with the shower still and things like that, but he can get up and down on his own. I was telling everybody before we started the show, I literally just got back to the house 5 minutes ago, picking him up at physical therapy and had his dinner waiting for him. And, it's a superpower that we women have, that we can multitask. So I told him I needed to take a deep breath before I started the show because I was driving fast to get home too. Fortunately, I was a safe driver. So anyways, well, our first caller is Nistha. Hi, Nistha.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, girl?
I'm doing well. I posted our conversation from last week, and my friends are really enjoying what you do and sort of what you had to say and the insights you offered. So it's super exciting for me to have that out there.
Well, good. I was on Nistha's show, as she said last week, and you guys, she is one of the most remarkable, bright, eloquent, thoughtful, spiritual young people I've ever met. And Nistha just graduated from Virginia Tech, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so that tells you she's brilliant. She's got to be brilliant to go there to school. And so she decided to make her career in the spirituality realm and the spirituality niche, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, spot on. I decided to kind of venture down this realm of personal development because I am really passionate about the law of attraction and the idea of reframing your belief systems in order to create this ideal reality that you'd like to see. So I decided to, start doing one-on-one mindset coaching sessions with clients, as well as making content across social media platforms. Just came out with my first ever poetry book around the journey of self-discovery. It's called Beyond the Skin, and will be available on Amazon soon. So just sort of staying strapped in for that. But it's been quite the journey. It's been only about a year in now, but it's really cool. And then on my podcast, Rising, as Julie mentioned, I talk about very similar topics, have a variety of guests, and Julie was my most recent guest. So for everyone who's listening in right now and wants to check out that conversation, my podcast is available everywhere you can find podcasts. Again, it's called Rising, and you can search it with my name, Nistha Dube. That's spelled Nistha. So that's just a brief introduction about me. And thank you, Julie, so much for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. And we've already posted it on all my social media platforms too, at Ask Julie Ryan on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all those places. And so there are links there to go to the show. But we had really, I think, a thoughtful conversation. And I am just so impressed with you, young lady. You are really extraordinary. And I guess my question for you is, do you come from a spiritual background? Is your family into spirituality and woo-woo stuff and things like that? How did you get interested in this?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because growing up, my parents would often talk about astrology or the power of word or thought. My family is Indian. I was born in India. I've been raised Hindu. So, it's definitely a part of our religion more so than our culture. And so it was something I always heard, but didn't honestly entirely resonate with growing up at all, to be pretty honest with you, up until my sophomore year of college when I was honestly reading an Instagram post about the law of attraction. Had never really heard of it phrased that way in my life. So I started sort of venturing down that path just out of curiosity, understanding that there is power to words and thoughts and writing what you want out on paper. And those were elements that I wasn't entirely familiar with before. So sort of, I guess, as I opened my energy up to that and started reading about it more, I started noticing more and more peculiar circumstances around me. There were things happening that didn't really entirely make sense, but almost seemed too good to be true. And
can you give us an example of something that happened?
Could you repeat that question, Julie?
Can you give us an example of something that happened?
Oh my gosh, yes. So this is an example that I think blows a lot of people's minds, mine included, to this day. So this is the first time I ever came across this post. This person on Instagram was talking about how she manifested her husband. And so she wrote out a list of qualities that she wanted and ended up meeting this person 2 weeks later. And mind you, I had never heard about manifesting in my life. So I was like, how is this entirely possible? However, she was a tarot reader and clairvoyant on Instagram. Still follow her today. Absolutely love her. And I was like, there has to be something here. And so just for the fun of it, I decided to, whip out a journal and write out qualities that I would ideally want in a person, has zero attachment to it. Again, this was my second year of college, so it wasn't really entirely in the mind frame of searching for a counterpart at this point. And then I sort of did that scripting exercise similar to what she did. And then lo and behold, it was about 4 weeks later, ended up spontaneously going out with someone that I had recently met on a dating app, which my friend and I were on kind of as a joke, and that ended up turning into a long-term relationship. So that continues to blow my mind today, because if you knew me before, I was someone who honestly never really was looking for that sort of, I guess, dynamic in my life, and nor did I care for it. And so I think that, to me, is the ultimate example of detachment and manifesting something that you might not entirely be consciously seeking, but maybe there is a part of you that is receptive to that energy, and creating that intention and calling that in is quite powerful. And the way I did that was through scripting. So that sort of allowed me to venture down the different methods there are to manifesting, and then basically today explaining that to the world. So it's been really cool since then. That was about 3 years ago, and I never really thought that I would be publicly talking about all of this, but it's cool to sort of let that guard down and be open about it.
Well, absolutely. And the fun thing about manifesting is you set your sights on what it is you want, and then you just give up control, and God, the universe, your spirit guides, your deceased loved ones. I mean, everybody's going to help manifest it for you, normally in a way that's going to be more elegant and easier and more amazing than what you'd even envisioned. I think when we try and control how things are going to happen, we get in our own way. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Totally. I think so. And I think that's oftentimes the misconception there is to manifesting. People think that there is, people get attached to these methods that they see, and then they think that by consciously doing those methods is the only way that they're going to manifest certain results. And so I always want to emphasize, to anyone listening right now, I think there's so much, we as humans hold so much power, and we're always subconsciously manifesting. We're always creating our realities with the actions that we choose, the words that we speak, with the thoughts that we think. And so these methods and these rituals that you might read about or see in social media, I want, people who are listening right now to realize that those aren't be all end all methods. If anything, those are just, fun ways to set your intention. But the key and the power to manifesting what you want is in your mindset and your relationship with that result. It's how detached you are from that result, and how believing you are in yourself in order to achieve it. That's where the magic happens. It's less about the method, it's more about the mindset.
Well, exactly. And then the other big thing that I tell people is we're humans, so you have to take action. You can't just sit at home and expect, whatever you want just to show up in the mail or show up on your front doorstep. You've got to take action, and then you take action, and then you'll get guidance to take another step. But I hear from people all the time, Nistha, that say, oh, well, I've written my list and this guy just hasn't shown up yet. And I'll say, well, what have you been doing? And they'll say, well, I'm waiting for him to show up. I'm thinking about him to manifest him. I say, well, yeah, it doesn't work that way. You got to take action in this, in this human environment.
Totally spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how can everybody find you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. And allowing me to be here again. And everyone can find me on Instagram at Nistha Dube, NISTHADUBE. My website is nisthadube.com. My show, again, is Rising. So you can type that in anywhere you can find podcasts and narrow down the search by typing in my name. And then my book will be available on Amazon soon. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can definitely stay tuned for that drop. It's called Beyond the Skin. So.
All right. And we'll put that up. Keep me in the loop, and we'll publicize it for you. Thanks, Nistha, so much for joining us. Everybody stay with us. We'll come back and get another few callers on in the next segment. So hang in there. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's go to the phones, and our next caller is Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne.
Hey. Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am. I'm calling from the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. And I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you. I worked with you this summer. I had some issues with my thyroid, and I'm happy to say that I am off all of my thyroid medications.
Wow,
and
fabulous.
I'm working a little bit. My TSH level's a little high, but I'm doing really well. So thank you for sharing your gift with me.
Oh, hallelujah. Wonderful news.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know. My goodness, how exciting for you. And how do you feel? Are you feeling good?
I am feeling good. I'm feeling good, and yes. I have a question for you tonight. It is about my dear 11-year-old chocolate lab, Bailey. She is not doing really well. She has a mass on her abdomen, and the veterinarian feels it's cancerous. So I was wondering if you could do a scan on her and let us know, what she needs us to do. Help her transition, or where's she at? What does she need us to know?
How does she seem to be feeling to you guys? I mean, does she seem like she's in pain or uncomfortable, or?
She seemed very anxious today. She's on prednisone, and I think that seems to help her somewhat, but I feel like she's struggling to breathe, and she looks very nervous and stressed to me.
Yeah. Well, and the prednisone's going to make her feel that way too, just because it's, it's a steroid. It's going to make an animal or a human feel like they're wired and stressed. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Roxanne, is I'm going to get connected to you in North Carolina, and then from you to Bailey. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, over to you in North Carolina. For those of you that are first time listeners, what I do is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly, simply because the body has mass. So I raise my vibrational level, I close my eyes, and I watch this laser beam heading over to you. Okay, got you, Roxanne, and then from you to Bailey. Okay, Bailey. Her spirit's in her body right now. She's not dying at the moment. What that means, everybody, and Roxanne, I know you know this, but when a person or an animal is dying, the spirit starts to exit the body, and it hangs onto the top of the head, and it looks like a bubble configuration, like in a cartoon caption. And her spirit's in her body right now, Roxanne. Frankly, I was surprised. I kind of thought maybe it wouldn't be. But let's ask her some questions. So, Bailey, are you ready to go? Yes. Are you in pain? Yes. Do you want Roxanne to euthanize you, yes, but not yet. Okay. When will she know the timing is right when she can't control her bowels? I hear that a lot.
Okay.
In the meantime, is there anything that they can do for you? She's saying, does she have a bed that she lays on? Where does she lay most of the time? Is she on the floor? She's a big girl. Where is she? That's kind of the joke. That's why I was laughing, because she does occasionally sleep in her bed, but it's like she doesn't want us to see her do that. So she'll wait after we go to sleep and crawl up in her bed. It's in our bedroom. So she sleeps in the bed and on the hardwood floor when she gets hot, and then on a rug next to my bed. Okay, because she's asking if you can make her bed a little cushier.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that she's inflamed. That's probably part of the reason why they have her on prednisone. And when you have inflammation, you just kind of hurt all over. And so she's asking if you can make her bed more comfortable. And that's why I asked if she slept in a bed, because I thought if she's sleeping in your bed, I don't know what you're going to do with that. Buy her a new mattress. No, I'm kidding. But she's just asking if you can make it more comfortable. What's your course of treatment, or are you just going to ride it out? What are you thinking, and what's the vet saying?
He basically was just saying that he gave the option that we could, have surgery and to find out what exactly it is. And we said, no, we didn't want to do that. So just to make her as comfortable as we can. And, we don't want it drawn out to where she's in pain. So that's always the hard decision, right?
It's heartbreaking. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I've been there. Yeah. It's awful. Because the reason I asked is she said, Roxanne, she said she didn't want any medical procedures. She said, do not do anything out of the ordinary. So there's some validation and some confirmation for you, and hopefully that'll give you some comfort to know that. And she's asking for some extra cushion in her bed again.
Okay. So, all right.
I don't know if you put like a fluffy blanket in there.
We have an orthopedic other bed that she will not sleep on. So I'll talk to her about that. I don't know what's going on, but also,
do you have an old blanket or something you can put in there?
Yeah.
I would try that.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, try that.
Also, like my son is trying to he lives in Chicago, so he's trying to get here next weekend to see her. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be enough time? Will she be around?
Right now I'm getting a yes, but future things are fluid. Things that have happened in the past are set. Things that are happening right now are set. Things that are in the future are fluid. And there are a million variables that can come in to affect an outcome. But right now I get a yes. That might be different in a day or so.
Okay.
So good luck with all of that. Find some push for her bed. Okay. Good luck.
I will.
Take
Thank
care.
you, Julie. Appreciate it.
Bye, Roxanne. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after the break, and we'll get some more callers on. All right. We're back and going to the phones. And our next caller, Shelley. Hi, Shelley.
Oh, hi, Julie. How are you?
How are you? I'm well. How are you?
Good. So
Terrific.
I'm calling from Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. And how are things there?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, because it's not directly about me. So I don't know if you could check with my friend Bob, his spirit, to see if he would, I guess, consent to you kind of reading him. But I'll tell you that the situation is he had a very rare cancer called anaplastic thyroid cancer 17 years ago, and was given a 90-day diagnosis. And so he had more than a lifetime amount of radiation. And, and so, the great concern is, any dental issues, because of where the radiation was. And this past week, a filling came out. And so they had to take the tooth and so the concern is, high risk for necrosis of his jaw. And, they're talking about they'll evaluate him, as time passes within the next week or two. They'll keep a close eye on him to see if he would need, hyperbaric. But I was just curious if you could read him or not. In person, he agrees, but I know that since he's not currently here beside me to ask for himself, I didn't know if you could check his.
Yeah. Well, we'll ask him and see what he says. So he's cancer free now. You said he was diagnosed 17 years ago. And he was given a couple weeks to live. Well, he showed them, didn't he?
Right. I know. Seriously, they even send him back to Johns Hopkins about every year to every 2 years and do a battery of tests to figure out, why he is a survivor. So,
well, that's nice that they're studying the good side of the equation for a change. Oh my gosh, that's a riot. Oh, I love that. All right. So what I'm going to do, Shelley, is I'm going to get you on my radar, and then I'm going to go from you to Bob, and I'll ask his permission. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Birmingham to you in Kansas City. Is he in Kansas City as well with you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Got you. Got him. Bob, I'm talking to Shelley. Is it okay if I scan you? Yes. Oh, good job setting that up, girl. All right. I got him
I figured he would.
Yeah. Okay. He, where I'm seeing bone loss, where I don't know where the tooth was, but he's definitely got bone loss on the low right side of his jaw. That's where the energy went first. Shelley, is that where the tooth was?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's looking like it's crumbly. It looks like a, how can I describe it? The coral that you find in the ocean that has holes in it, and it's some of it is solid and some of it has holes. That's what it looks like. So we're just gonna put some stem cell energy in there. What I'm watching happen is I'm watching the dead tissue get removed, and then stem cell energy, Shelley, looks like a light amber colored gel with sparkles in it, because it's woo-woo. You gotta have sparkles because that's just the way it works. and excuse me. And so it has a watery consistency to it. For those of us of a certain age, we think that it looks like Dippity Doo, which was a hair gel in the 60s and 70s when we were growing up. But anyways, that's filling the jaw. That's disintegrating. It's disintegrating the bone. He's got a bunch of bone loss in there. All right. So I'm gonna let that do its thing. There's a vortex above it that's spinning really fast, and that's gonna transform the stem cell energy into new bone. This is the absolute coolest stuff because it'll transform whatever we need into whatever body part we need. It's great. I mean, we can even do whole organs with it. So I've got him on my radar. Let me just run the rest of his jaw. The front, he's missing some. Well, he's missing a lot of bone, like all over his jaw. Lower palate, way worse.
So much radiation.
Yeah. Lower is worse than upper, which would make sense because it's closer to the thyroid. Little bit in the upper left. So I've got a little dollop of stem cell energy in there, and each area that we put stem cell energy in, it has its own vortex, which is interesting, and it corresponds in size to the amount of stem cell energy that we use, which just cracks me up. Sometimes if it's just a little teeny bit, I'll see this little teeny weeny little vortex that'll form above it. All right, so bottom jaw is getting redone. Okay, even up into the joint on the left side. He's got some disintegration in the joint on the left side. Does he have TMJ? Does he have pain in his jaw?
Kind of at baseline, he has that. Even his neck and honestly, his muscles in his traps and his neck, they feel like petrified wood. I mean, they just are hard as rocks.
Yeah. So, and his thyroid just looks like it's charred. It looks like a piece of chicken that you've left on the grill and forgotten about it. And it just got fried, just got charred, got burned. So
that would be my cooking.
Yeah. While I'm in there, I'm just going to go ahead and while we got the stem cell energy in there, let's just do a new thyroid for him as well. So when an organ is removed or irradiated or something like that, it leaves a mold of what the organ looks like. And so I just fill it with stem cell energy. I've removed the charred area, and then I've got stem cell energy going in now to this mold, almost like a plastics mold. I was a manufacturer of surgical devices for over 20 years, and we used plastic molds to make our products. And that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. So and there's a vortex above that. So that's just regenerating his thyroid. And hopefully that will help him feel better. So hopefully that helps.
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling, Shelley.
Good luck
to Bob. You bet. Take care.
Okay. Will do.
Bye. All righty. Let's go to Heather next. Hi, Heather.
Hi. Good evening, Julie.
Good evening to you. How are you, my dear?
I am doing great despite the 6 inches of snow here in Memphis. We've all been locked in our houses, unable to get around. Fortunately, we all still have some power, so we're not quite in dire straits as Texas. But it's just added to the cabin fever of COVID.
I bet. Well, I think in the past year, I've heard several people say, it's kind of like, if we can get through this, we can get through anything. So it's a good way to look at it, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, terrific. Well, you got a question for me?
Yes. So I'd like to do a follow-up to our one-on-one session that we had last month. We had talked about my mother, and you had mentioned that Mom had an experience with Mother Mary. And we didn't quite get to what Mother Mary had said to my mom, just that my mother felt that whatever she was asked was something that she wasn't able to go through with because women at that time, this would have been the late 50s, she didn't feel like she had the freedom to do that. So I wanted to know if we could check back in and find out what Mother Mary had asked of my mother, and in what way might that relate to me or my sister?
Okay. I got to tell you, Heather, I don't remember when I am scanning somebody or have a conversation with somebody that's in spirit, because I'm in and out of different realities. So the more you can prompt me, the more I can go back and try and capture some of that. But I have no memory of that conversation. And when I was studying this stuff 30 some years ago, my mentor and teacher told me that. And I said, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. What are you talking about? And so I'm the same way. And my graduates of my class report the same thing. So I have to imagine that it's in and out of different realities. Remind me of your mom's name.
Sure. My mom's name was Mary Valentine. And our conversation started with my mother had seen a ship above our home. We lived near Wright Pat Air Force Base, and I'd asked, was that a spaceship or was that the stealth bomber? Mom had thought it was the stealth bomber, but we weren't sure.
I remember that.
Yes.
Now, see, when you prompt me, I can go back and I can pull in some of that memory. I do remember that, and I do remember you asking if it was the stealth, and I think we got that it was the stealth, didn't we?
Yes, that was definitely the stealth.
That's what I'm getting on that. Okay. And then when did the Virgin Mary part come in?
You had mentioned that Mom had told you that she had had a visit from Mother Mary when she was about 17 years old.
Oh, okay. But we didn't. Did we start talking about something else and we lost track of that conversation, or what? What happened?
Yeah. As far as we got was that you had said, well, she didn't feel that she could do anything about it because of the restrictions on women at the time.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold you over for the break, and I'll be right back. And let me think about it over the break. About her mom, Mary Valentine. That's such a great name, Heather. What year was your mom born? Heather, what year was your mom born?
1939. Can you hear me?
Okay. So 1939, so 17, so that'd be, she was in the mid-50s, so 56, basically, when she was 17. When the Virgin Mary appeared to her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was she Catholic?
She was not. And not that she wasn't as an adult. I don't believe she was truly raised as one. No.
Were her parents Catholic? Was her mom Catholic or grandmother?
My grandmother was Irish American, and my grandfather, his company had him working in Central and South America, and she grew up down there, so maybe there was a Catholic influence.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I remember you saying that now. Yeah, I remember you saying that now. Okay. What I did over the break was I did an instant replay of when the Virgin Mary appeared to her, and what she asked her to do was to pray the rosary and do a novena to Our Lady of Lourdes. Excuse me, Lourdes, France is a shrine where the Virgin Mary appeared, and there have been many, many healings there over the years. And so what she asked of your mom, the Virgin Mary, was to talk with her friends, especially young people, teenagers, to get them to pray the rosary, especially the novena to Our Lady of Lourdes. She said if they do that, their lives would be enhanced in immeasurable ways. And she wanted your mom to reach teenagers, and she even gave her kind of a roadmap of how to do it. She said that she wanted her to do a mail campaign and send letters to schools and start a kind of a conversation through mail, because that's what they did back then. Long distance was expensive, and to do it through mail. And your mom was just going, I'm not doing that. And so I can relate to that, because when Pope Clement, my spirit guide, appeared to me and wanted me to teach the world about what happens when somebody's dying, I told him, I'm not doing that. I'm a businesswoman. People are going to think I'm crazy. And he's like, yeah, do it anyway. And, look at me now. So that's what I'm getting. So how does that relate to you and your sister, that you could pick? Well, I get you could pick up the baton where it left off and really look into, I don't even know if there is a novena to Our Lady of Lourdes. My guess is there is. I don't know. But I would research that and see if there's something that you can do to help teenagers get to know about it. I'll tell you, there's a group called The Way of the Rose, and it's a Facebook group. And I had the authors of The Way of the Rose book, Perdita Finn and Clark Strand, on my Christmas Eve show. I think it's show 238. And if you go back and you watch that, I think that would be a good place to start. The video is on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast anywhere, but the video is on YouTube. There's something in there about the rosary and teenagers.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'll go looking.
You're welcome. What a great question. There's not too many. It's not too often that I hear, that the Virgin Mary appeared to somebody, let alone somebody's mother. But in that video from episode 238, which was the Christmas Eve show, Clark Strand, the Virgin Mary's appeared to him and appears to him every month with a message. So I think it will be really interesting for you to explore that. The Way of the Rose on Facebook, they have a private group that you can just request to be admitted, and go to the Way of the Rose. I think it's .org, and you'll learn a bunch of information about that. So I hope that helps.
I look forward to it. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Marion next. Hi, Marion.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Good. Yeah, I'm here in Yucca Valley. I had a question about my older Labrador Max. He's really, he'll be 14 in April. And he seems very happy, but he does have some weird tumors on his body. They're not cancerous, so they don't appear to be. He has this weird one that's on his leg, almost like a ball sack that went down his knee. It's really weird. And if we do any kind of surgery, it's a good chance that he will survive it. So I didn't know if you could do like a scan on him, see how he's doing, or any other stuff that we could do to help him.
Yeah, what's his name again, Marion? This is not a great connection, so I'm going to mute you while I'm doing it.
Let me turn this off.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off
if we're on speaker, get us off. Okay. Oh, okay. So much better.
Here we are.
So much better. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
So what is this? The lab show tonight? Roxanne called in about her lab too. What is your dog's name again?
Max, like Maximus Dudicus.
Max. I have a grandson named Max with a middle name of Ryan after me, the wicked step grandmother. Oh. I thought that was a score. I thought, whoa. Tim, my husband doesn't have any grandsons named after him, which just fries him. And so whenever he sees a pregnant woman, he says, can you please name your baby Tim? And if his girl name it Timothina, they look at him like he's nuts. So it's pretty funny. Okay, Max. Tumor, here we go. I'm connected to you and from you to Max. Timothina. My goddaughter, we got her a bear, and I got embroidered on a bib that said Timothina on it. They named her Penelope instead of Timothina, but, really, not much difference there. Okay. Max, what's up? All right, I'm on his back left leg is where the energy went. So let me see what's going on there. Does he have a tumor kind of up where the leg meets his body in the back? That's what I'm seeing.
He's got this big one on his back right knee. And it's like right above his knee, and then he has a couple like ones that are around little, that you can just look like little lumps that come out on the, like one in his chest and then some on the sides, but they're not as predominant as this one on his knee.
Well, the energy, I'm watching the things always show up on my radar. The most pressing things always show up first. So I just follow where it goes. And it's back left, up where his back left leg comes in and connects to his body, kind of like where the hip is. So I'm removing that. Let's just do a seek and destroy here. So I encapsulate the tumor. They don't look malignant. They're just pink. They're benign, is what I'm seeing.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what the vet is saying?
Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than it could take a lot for him to. If we ever try to remove it, we don't know if he'd survive it.
Yeah.
He's already
all right.
14.
Well, we're gonna need to go to a quick break, and I'm gonna work on him on the break. So thanks, Marion, for calling in, and good luck to you and to Max. I'll see what I can do on the break. Stay with us, everybody. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the phones, and Faye is next. Hi, Faye.
Hello, Julie. Thank you for all you do and share your wisdom with all of us and the world.
Oh, you sweet girl. Thank you for your kind comments. I appreciate them. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm a friend of Mary, and I'm calling from Minnesota.
Minnesota, you guys are in the deep freeze up there, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in tundra right now as I'm speaking with you.
Oh, my gosh. And how much snow do you have?
Actually, it's not a lot, but it's cold. It's just windshield, and it's chilly, and it's cold.
Oh, well. Well,
yes.
I'm glad that you're hopefully staying warm and cozy and you have power. That's the big thing. God bless the people in Texas.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, Faye, do you have a question for me?
Yes, I do. I am calling because I want to know a little bit about my dad. My elderly dad got COVID, ended up in the hospital. And from there, he got a viral pneumonia and deteriorated since. And right now, he's in a nursing home. And he wants to come home so badly, but he has lost a lot of weight. He's not eating. And what I want to know is what stage he's in and how I can make this transition smooth for him.
Okay. Tell me his name, Faye. John. All right. I'm going to connect to you up in Minneapolis, and then from you, I'm going to connect to your dad. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Alabama heading up to you in Minneapolis, from you to your dad. Got your dad. He's in phase 7 of 12. For those of you that don't know what Faye and I are talking about, it is a series of events that happens to everybody as they're dying. We all go through what I call the 12 phases of transition, and there are illustrations of this that are on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. Just go to the 12 phases of transition tab and you'll see it. And as I mentioned before, when some person or an animal is dying, the spirit exits through the top of the head, and it looks like a bubble, Faye. Looks like a cartoon caption bubble where the words or the character's thoughts are. And your dad has angels on either side of that bubble. His parents' spirits are at his feet. They anchor a horseshoe of angels that go out in each direction. And then there are lots of other spirits of deceased loved ones who are there from multiple lifetimes. It's pretty interesting who shows up because they have different period dress a lot of the time on. So there are lots of those. So let's ask him the 3 questions that I always like to ask. John, are you ready to go? No. Are you in pain at times? What do you need to go home? Well, you knew that already. So is hospice involved, Faye? Have you called in hospice?
Yes.
Okay. And what are they saying? Are they saying that it's okay for him to come home?
They're not really saying anything, but to make him comfortable while he's there. And I don't know whether, coming home will speed up the whole process and make him comfortable, but there's no way we can have him home. That's the problem.
Okay.
So he has it in his mind that he can come home, but we can't have him at home
because
take care of him.
Okay. So he would need a hospital bed and oxygen and things like that?
Yes.
And his insurance wouldn't cover that, or you guys aren't home to help take care of him? Or?
He does, because my mom that is at home, she got COVID too. So, for the past 5 years, she's been taking care of him and she can't do it. Although even if I get help from hospice, everything is at home, still you need a manager to manage the whole place. And there's nobody to be able to do that. But we can't take care of him at home. And he has it in his mind that he needs to come home. So I don't know whether your spirit gets stuck if you want something and your wishes are not met. How does that work?
No. He wants to come home, and I understand that. And so let's just talk to him about that. John, it's not feasible for you to come home. And he's saying, yes, it is. And I'm saying, well, your family's saying no. Okay, so Can you see him? Can you go visit him where he is?
Yes.
Okay. Because he's in hospice?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're right. He's very determined. He wants to come home and he wants to die at home. And so, Faye, all I can tell you is what he's telling me, and you may want to talk to the hospice people about it and see what they can do to help along those lines. Yeah, because he's really adamant about it. He when he gets his mind set on something, he can be very, very persuasive, it sounds like. And he's used to probably getting his own way too, right?
Yes. All the time.
Yeah. I've seen this several other times throughout the years, Faye, where somebody really, really wants to come home and die at home with their family around them. And the hospice people usually are very accommodating. So talk to them. See what they can do to help you. Okay.
I will.
All right. Okay. Hang in there. Thanks for calling. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see who we have next. I believe it's Anne is our next caller. Hi, Anne.
Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Where are you?
Tonight. I'm great. I'm doing fine. Thank you. I'm calling from Lexington, South Carolina. And the reason I'm calling is I have a 17-and-a-half-year-old grandson who has been in a drug rehab. And his parents, he's in Utah. His parents, nobody has been allowed to visit for almost a year. And which concerns me greatly, because, I said even if somebody was incarcerated, a mother could visit. So red flags, are definitely, I have some great concern about that. Now, his father is scheduled to go for a visit, and I'm pushing for him to come home. And the place where he was at in Utah completely burned to the ground. So now he is stuck in a motel eating gas station food, and he's seeing a therapist once a week. And believe it or not, he did sneak a call. And he really, really, truly wants to come home. And I think that he should be allowed to come home. I understand that he got COVID and his parents weren't notified. And, there's just red flags. And do you think that, are you getting the feeling or whatever that he should come home?
When I ask, what's his name, Anne?
His name is Evan.
Evan. Is it in Anne's grandson Evan's best interest to come home from drug rehab at this time? I'm getting a no. I've gotten a no 3 times. And is he in one of those outward bound kind of a rehab places where those are big, long commitments. They're a year or longer, if I understand correctly what they do.
He's been there for a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there for a year. But can you tell me, why are you getting a no?
I'm getting it's in his best interest to stay longer, that he's not ready to come home yet. Even though he's saying that he is, that from a rehab standpoint, it's in his best interest to stay longer. Do you have any say in this, or this is just your opinion and you're trying to influence is it your son or your daughter? Who's the parent?
My daughter. I'm trying to influence her because, I think that you should be allowed to, he still is a child. He's still a child, and, to be separated from your family for that long, there's just red flags to me. I mean, a year and you can't see your own child? I mean, that just doesn't seem right to me.
Some of those treatment programs are like that. And what you may want to do is you may want to go online and see what the treatment program is and what their what their philosophy is, because it's not the first time that I've heard of this. But right now I'm just getting it's not in his best interest to come home. So that may mean that he's just not stable enough or ready, that they think that it's too much of a risk of a relapse for him to come home. I don't know. That would depend on what their protocol is and who sent him there. Did a judge send him there, or did his parents, or how did he get there?
Well, he was, what happened is that he had been in some trouble, and then, when they drug tested him, he tested positive for marijuana. And so the judge was probably sick of him. And so he was incarcerated, which I think is absolutely horrible, for a child. I mean, there has to be a
So
better
the judge
way
sent him to this rehab facility?
No, the judge didn't. But we found this place that would accept the father's insurance. And we knew that he did need a long-term rehab.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to need to go to break in. I'm getting it's in his best interest to stay there longer. So I hope that helps. I would research the facility and see what you can find out. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us, everybody. And we're back. And let's go to the phones here in just a second, because I wanted to go through our question this week that was submitted. But before I do that, we do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-775-7035, and the access code is 483-620-POUND. Now, this information is available on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and in the show notes, anywhere you download podcasts. You can get the show, like I said, anywhere you download podcasts. We're also on YouTube and Alexa. And please remember to subscribe, share with your friends and family, and leave a review at ratethispodcast.com/Julie. And if you rate the podcast, that will enter you into a drawing for a free consult with me, for a free hour session. So ratethispodcast.com/Julie. You may be the next winner of a free session. Plus, what happens is it helps others find this information. And usually when people email me and they say, oh, I just listened to your show for the first time and there was something that you talked about that was exactly what I needed to hear, it usually works that way. Call-in details can also be found on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we're also on Pinterest, and everything's at Ask Julie Ryan. We'll post a reminder the day of the show to just put the number up there to make it easy for you. And while you're on AskJulieRyan.com, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is a question somebody has submitted online along with my answer. And while you're there, you can schedule an appointment with me, and then we'll have a whole hour to talk about whatever you want. I can scan you medically. I can scan your cat. We can talk to your dead grandma. We can do past life stuff. I mean, it's a blast. We have so much fun. And we can get as many things in as we can in the hour that we have together. I'm booked out a couple of months. Go ahead and get on my calendar. And then when you get your confirmation email, there's a reschedule button at the bottom of the confirmation email. And just click on that periodically and it will show you if earlier appointments have opened up. I had 2 open up today alone. So people took them, they take them, pretty quickly. And then I find out about it after the fact. So that's why I have you do it on your own. So everything you need to know is at AskJulieRyan.com. By the way, the July class for angelic attendant training is half full. I limit it to 12 people and we got 6 already. So if you're thinking about signing up for that, go ahead and get on that. Go ahead and enroll, and then you'll have your slot for you in July. We'll do the next classes in April, and that's been full for a couple of months. All right. Here's our question of the week. Amy from Sligo, Ireland, which I looked up is in the northern part of Ireland. Said, hi, Julie. Hope you're well. I just listened to your podcast with Sandra Ray on her Fiercely Spiritual podcast. I'm certainly going to book an appointment with you for a private session. And in the meantime, would love to know if you can detect anything and or do a healing on my reproductive system. I'm currently trying to live with and help my body heal from endometriosis. Chronic flare-ups cause intense physical pain and bring me stress around fear about my fertility. Thanks for any insights you can offer. Amy. And here's my response. Hi, Amy. Thanks for your question and for listening to Sandra and me on her show. The American College of Obstetricians, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, which is known as ACOG, defines endometriosis as a condition in which the type of tissue that forms the lining of the uterus, the endometrium, is found outside the uterus. Endometriosis can result in excessive bleeding, pelvic pain, and in some cases infertility. Many women with endometriosis have no symptoms. Women's global health expert and OBGYN Christiane Northrup, MD, says endometriosis does not cause infertility, but it's felt to be a contributing factor. Whatever is causing the endometriosis symptoms may also be responsible for the infertility, but one does not cause the other. End quote. So, in order to get some information for you, I energetically connected to you in Ireland and could see in my mind's eye a fair amount of endometrial tissue outside of your uterus and on your ovaries and fallopian tubes. Next, I watched, again in my mind's eye, an energetic healing in which a laser was used to eliminate it. The remaining charred tissue was then removed and left a normal-looking reproductive system. Although outpatient laparoscopic procedures are commonly used to diagnose and remove rogue endometrial tissue, research is showing eating processed foods high in unhealthy fats and sugar may be a contributing cause of endometriosis and exacerbate inflammation and pain. With that in mind, I recommend reading Why We Get Sick by Benjamin Bickman, PhD, in which Dr. Bickman discusses the role diet plays in healing endometriosis and lots of other medical conditions. Hope you feel better and find this information helpful. It seems that endometriosis is pretty common anymore and really became more so in the past 30 or 40 years when we went to processed foods, our diet, a lot of processed foods, and it's being reversed with cleaning up your diet. If God made it, eat it. If man made it in a factory, do your best to avoid it, is the kind of thing that I'm seeing. So hope that helps. Alrighty, let's go back to the phones, and our next caller is Katie. Hi, Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
We're freezing down here in Austin, but we're doing well.
Oh, gosh, girl, do you have power? Obviously, if you're calling in.
I do. I got it actually early yesterday morning. So we're.
Oh, jeez.
I'm knocking off the icicles off my house and boiling them for water for dishes. So it's we're getting creative.
Seriously, you're really doing that?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, that is very creative. Well, are you able to go out yet, or are the roads still just solid ice?
No, I was able to get home yesterday, but they're ice today. So just staying in and staying warm.
Oh, geez. Katie, I'm going to hold you over for the break. We'll be right back, and then we'll get your question on. So go harvest some more ice cubes during the break, and I'll catch you on the other side. Stay with us, everybody. All right, let's go back to Miss Katie in Austin. Katie, I love that you're getting, I don't love it for you, but I think it's fabulous that you're getting icicles off of your house to get some water to cook with it, because you didn't have water for a few days because the pumps were out because the electricity was not working.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Yes.
Oh, geez. Goodness. I can't even imagine. Oh, well. All right. Well, you got a question for me?
I do, actually. A close friend of mine, actually, who I've been staying with for the last few days up until yesterday, they had heat. Her her mom has had a long battle with cancer. And she is now back in the hospital. She had COVID, and her lung just collapsed. So my friend is on their way out there. She is in San Angelo, Texas, in the hospital. And I'm just wondering if you might be able to do a scan to see if she's transitioning.
Yeah, sure. What's her name, Katie?
Her name is Norma.
Norma. All right. I'm going to connect to you and then from you to Norma. How far is San Angelo from Austin?
About 2.5 hours west.
Oh, gosh. And the roads are travelable? Is that a word? Travelable? I think it is.
Very slowly, as my friend said. They stayed at the hotel tonight on their way out there, but yeah, it's not an easy drive.
Oh, geez. All right. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from balmy Birmingham, where it's like, I don't know. I think it was in the 50s today. So got that. Yeah. Which is balmy compared to where you are, right? It's supposed to be in the 60s by the weekend, but I think it's supposed to be in the 60s down there too.
It is. Yes. I think by Sunday.
Yeah. She's in phase 8 of the 12 phases of transition, Katie.
Okay.
So phase 8 is her spirit's out of her body. She's got angels on either side of it. And what we were talking about with Faye, with her dad, her parents' spirits are anchoring her feet. There's a horseshoe of angels that goes out from that. There are just more spirits that are there in phase 8 than phase 7. Again, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, everybody, when they die, they go through 12 phases of transition. And it's a configuration of angels and deceased loved ones that surround us. And this happens, Katie, whether somebody dies instantly, like in the case of a homicide or suicide, or whether it's stretched out over days, weeks, months. And so she's in phase 8. So Norma, are you ready to go? No. Are you in pain at times? What do you need, my family? All right, they're on the way. Can you hold on until they get there? She's saying, I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the phases can go quickly or they can stretch out over days, weeks, months. And how you can find out what phase somebody is in, Katie, is you just ask. Just ask what phase is Norma in. And the graphics are on my website, askjulieryan.com. And then you'll get an answer within a second, like phase 5, phase 7, whatever. And then you go to the website, askjulieryan.com, and you can look it up and see what it is. What a lot of families will do is they will download the illustrations, and then it's easy for them to be able to reference what phase they're in. And if you find that the person is advancing through the phases fairly quickly, like one day they're in phase 7 and then later that day they're in phase 8 and they're in phase 9 by the next morning. Once you're up into about phase 9, you want to be calling the family in. So I'm glad your friends are on their way there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Stay warm, stay safe, and I hope you get your power and your water back on soon.
It will be. I think it'll probably be tomorrow or the next day. So I will really appreciate everybody thinking of us in Texas.
Yeah. All right. Hang in there. Bye.
Okay.
Let's go to Diane next. Hi, Diane.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Is this your first time to call in?
Yes.
Wonderful. Where are you located?
In the Chicago area.
Okay. You guys got a bunch of that white stuff up there, too.
Yeah, I think we have about 30 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh, crazy. Wow.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, it's been a very snowy month.
Yes, I know. My brother lives in Naperville in one of the suburbs, and I talked to him a couple days ago, and he goes, "Yeah, we got like another 6 or 7 inches coming." And I keep saying, "Get out now, come down, come to Alabama." Yeah. He said, "Well, but who's going to take care of the house and the snow and removal and all that?" I said, "Good point, but yeah, He'd probably just worry about it if they were down here. Well, you got a question for me?
Yes, I'm actually calling about my husband, Neil. He's sitting right here next to me, so he knows I'm calling.
Okay.
He has a rare heart condition called constrictive pericarditis.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Basically, it's scar tissue that formed over his heart after he had an infection.
Okay.
And we've been dealing with this since September 2018. He has cardiologists that he sees, and we've consulted with several cardiologists, and he's sought a lot of alternative medical help, but there's really not a treatment for this. It's just a matter of controlling the symptoms. So I'm wondering if there's anything you can suggest that could get rid of the scar tissue, because otherwise he's had all kinds of tests. He's had an MRI of the heart. His heart is fine. It's just this scar tissue that's the problem.
And what are the symptoms that it causes?
He has out of breath. He's very tired all the time. And he's on water pills. He retains water if he's not on water pills.
It's squishing the heart, too.
Well, yeah, it constricts the heart.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
all right. Let me get him on my radar. Hi, Neil. I just heard your voice. Hi, Neil.
He says hi.
Can he hear us? Can he hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on speaker. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, Neil, here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, up to you in Chicago, and got you going in. Okay. Scar tissue looks like that fake spiderweb material that you get at the dollar store at Halloween, and you could decorate your house, with fake spider webs. That's what it looks like to me. And so what I'm doing is I'm cutting it with a pair of energetic emergency room scissors that I have in my house from when I used to sell them a million years ago. And I'm removing it right now from around your heart. Okay, it's like it's keeping it from expanding to its full extent is what it looks like to me. So we're removing it, and then I'm going to do a quick DNA healing on you, which scar tissue is caused by a protein called fibrin, and fibrin is a component of blood. It helps blood clot. But sometimes when there's a mutation in the DNA, it causes too much scar tissue to form. So there's a strand of DNA that's come out of your body in a big X chromosome. Everybody's got X. Girls have 2 X's, boys have a Y and an X. And so X chromosome and a strand of DNA has come out. It looks to me like a piece of paper that you'd find in a fortune cookie with the fortune written on it. And it has the code that tells your cells how to behave. And this is the code for the fibrin. Then I'm watching it get rearranged. There are 4 letters that represent nucleic acids in DNA, and they are A, T, C, G. And a strand of DNA can have 100,000 letters on it, can have up to 1 billion letters on it. And so I'm watching them get resequenced, kind of as if we're playing Scrabble in warp speed. Have you ever played Scrabble where you move the pieces up and over to form a word? That's what I'm watching happen in warp speed. And then it just snapped back into your body. So hopefully that healing will help. The way that these healings work is that it happens on the energetic level, Diane and Neil, and then it will integrate into your body. And that can happen instantly. It can take days, weeks, months. It may need some kind of complementary care like medicine or surgery or whatever. But certainly it's always our spirit's choice to utilize the healing in a way that's going to best facilitate whatever it is we're exploring. And I believe that it's spirit working through me and with me. I'm kind of like the tugboat captain, helping you heal yourself, like guiding let's say you're a big ship and I'm guiding you up the mouth of the Mississippi up to the Great Lakes. So that was an energetic healing you just got, removing the scar tissue and also resequencing your DNA.
One other quick question. So one thing that happened after he contracted this was he went into AFib, and then they did 2 cardioversions on him, and then he went out of it for 2 years. And recently
he went back to AFib again. So, yeah, so now
Let's do a heart ablation. Let's do a heart ablation on him. I see 6 electrodes get put on the perimeter of the heart, on the front of the heart. There's current that's running from electrode to electrode in a clockwise direction, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise. All right, and then the electrodes pop off when the heart ablation's done. So you just got an energetic heart ablation too. You're just getting a combo package tonight. You bet. Hope you feel better. Thanks for calling in. You bet. Take care. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after the break. All right. Let's go back to the phones. And our next caller is Michelle. Hi, Michelle. All right. Well, let's try, let's go to Julie then. See if she's available. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Love your name.
I'm in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
I love your name.
Yes, I love yours too.
Well, thanks.
I was wondering if you could scan our 17-year-old little sweet Missy. She's a little Yorkie.
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on with Missy? I've scanned Missy in the past, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
She has
remind me what's going on.
Bloody diarrhea once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of throws her system off when that happens.
Yeah. And, 17. She's getting up there. That's great that she's...
Yes, she is.
She's a grande dame, huh? All right, here we go.
Yes.
Got Missy. And she's having bloody stools right now? Is that what's going on?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Something that she's eating is irritating her gut. Did you change her food?
We've been trying all different things. Boiled bison, boiled turkey, boiled chicken, boiled beef and rice.
Mm-hmm. What I'm getting, the boiled chicken, I got a ping on that. I'm getting, you're not giving it enough time for her system to heal, and then it's irritating it when you switch it. So stick with something for a week at least and let her system heal. She's gonna be fine.
Okay, and she's still in her body, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's in her body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you were told that you were loved and you were so cute when you were kissed several times a day, I think anybody would stick around.
Yeah. No, I think she's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Is she in pain at all?
At times, yeah. Stomach pain, like GI pain at times. But I'm getting that came in really clearly early, Julie. Let her body heal, but you gotta just stick with something. I get the chicken and rice is good. So try that.
Okay. And can you do anything with like strengthening that GI system or anything?
It's going to heal on its own. You just got to give it a chance to heal. And just quit switching it.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Thanks for calling. Hope she feels better.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to Tara next. Hi, Tara. Is it Tara or Tara? 415 area code?
Yep, it is Tara.
Tara. I got it right the first time. Gee, I must be psychic or something.
Yep.
Are you in San Francisco?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you got a quick question for me?
Well, gosh, it reminds me you were just working with somebody on scar tissue. And my son has a rare kidney condition that is basically scarring of the filters in the kidney.
Okay.
I wanted some help with that, whatever you can.
Yeah, what's his name? What's his name, Tara?
Ade.
Abe? Spell it for me.
Ade. Ade, like Sade the singer, but Ade.
Okay, Ade. And how old is Ade?
He just turned 22.
Okay. All right. I'm going to connect from you to him, and then I'm going to ask his permission. If I can scan him, I can, but I won't if he doesn't give me permission, because I just think it's a invasion of privacy. Yes. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam. Got you, Ade. I'm talking to your mom. She wants me to scan you energetically. Is that okay? He goes, yeah, cool. Okay, good job, Mom. Setting that up. All right. So I'm going in. Left kidney looks worse than the right. That's where the energy went first. All right, the filters are full of scar tissue. Yes, they are. They look like what I was saying before, that fake spiderweb stuff that you decorate at Thanksgiving, at Halloween with. And it's like a webbing that's in his kidneys. So what I'm watching happen is I'm watching a spiral of energy that's getting it off of the filtering system. It's not able to be cut like I did with Neil a few minutes ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching that happen on the left kidney. All right. And then let's go to the right kidney. Well, wow. It just lit up when that got off on the left side. Let me go to the right side and see if we can do the same thing. It reminds me of like a periscope glass, where there's the part that's the glass that you look through and it's round, and the part that comes out of the submarine that you can see, that it's got this netting stuff. Looks like fake spider webs from Halloween. Okay. That's what I keep saying. Yeah. So clearing that too. All right. That just lit up too. I'm watching a spiral of energy spin in both kidneys now. It's just giving them a tune-up, and hopefully that will happen.
Glomulary. I'm not sure how to say that. But
what about that?
No, that's what the filters are called, the glomerulus or the glomeruli.
Okay. They remind me of a periscope on a submarine. Just the lens on them. My analogies are hilarious at times, and they just come in so that I can tell you what it looks like, what I'm seeing, because when we're working on somebody else, like you and I are working on your son, you're being part of the healing. You're helping with this healing thing going on with him right now, which, how fun is that for the mama to help with that? I love that. So, hopefully that will help him feel better. What are his symptoms?
I mean, it's all labs. He doesn't have outward symptoms, but he does have hypertension because they're not working good. So he has high blood pressure. He's on meds for that.
Okay. And, all right. Well, I hope that helps. Yeah. I hope that helps, Tara. I hope that helps your son. And we are out of time for this week, everybody. That was fun. Went fast. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Call us next week. And for those of you that I didn't get on, please call back and I'll do my best to get you on next week. Sending lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Bye, everybody.
Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan, and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.